On June 15, 1859, an American farmer shot a pig that was eating his potatoes. The pig belonged to a British company. It had been in his potato patch before. 6 weeks later, Britain had 3 warships and 2,000 men anchored in the bay outside his farm. America had a captain, and 66 soldiers dug into a position on the hill above, facing those warships. 2 great empires on the brink of war over a pig in a potato patch. This is the Pig War. San Juan Island sits in the Pacific Northwest. Small, forested, and in 1859 one of the most strategically valuable pieces of land on the continent. Whoever held it controlled the sea channel between the American mainland and British Vancouver Island. The Oregon Treaty of 1846 divided the Pacific Northwest between Britain and America along the 49th parallel. The problem was there were 2 channels, and the treaty didn't specify which one the border ran through. Both Britain and America wanted San Juan Island, and both, for 13 years, simply kept adding settlers and hoping the other side would leave. Lyman Cutlar was an American farmer from Kentucky who had settled on San Juan Island in the spring of 1859. His neighbor, in the loosest possible sense, was Charles Griffin, who ran the Hudson's Bay Company sheep farm and owned several free-roaming pigs. One of those pigs had developed a very particular fondness for Cutlar's potato patch. It had been in there before. Cutlar had complained before. Griffin had done nothing. On June 15, 1859, the pig came back. Cutlar shot it dead. Griffin demanded $100 for the pig. Cutlar offered $10. Griffin refused and reported Cutlar to British authorities. The British threatened to arrest Cutlar on what Americans considered American soil. The settlers panicked. General William Harney was a man famous throughout the U.S. Army for his anti-British feelings. He received the settlers' petition with great enthusiasm. He sent Captain George Pickett and 66 men to occupy San Juan Island immediately and declare it United States territory. Britain responded by sending 3 warships into the bay, 84 guns and 2,140 men to face Pickett's 66. Looking out at 3 warships from his earthwork, Pickett reportedly said, "We'll make a Bunker Hill of it." British Captain Geoffrey Hornby was ordered to land his Marines and remove the Americans. He refused. He told his admiral he would not involve 2 great nations in a war over, and I quote, "a squabble about a pig." The admiral agreed with Hornby completely. When London and Washington finally heard what was happening, both governments were absolutely horrified. America sent its finest general, the 73-year-old, severely gout-ridden Winfield Scott, 3,000 miles to resolve a pig dispute. Both sides agreed to a joint military occupation, 100 men each, no shooting, share the island until someone figures out the border. The British and American soldiers on San Juan Island, it turned out, got along rather well, sharing food, sports, and holiday celebrations for 13 years. In 1872, they asked Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany to arbitrate the border dispute, a full 13 years after the pig was shot. The Kaiser ruled in favor of America. The British packed up their camp, shook hands with the Americans, and left, peacefully. The entire Pig War, 13 years of military standoff between 2 great empires, had exactly 1 casualty: the pig. The Pig War also proves something important, that 2 nations on the brink of conflict can always choose not to fire. History doesn't break, it tips. The Hudson's Bay Company had established Bellevue Sheep Farm on the island in 1853, 300 sheep, and 1 Irishman named Charles Griffin. Cutlar's entire homestead covered a fraction of the island. His potato patch was perhaps the most strategically significant vegetable garden in American history. 3 years after defying the Royal Navy over a pig, Captain George Pickett would lead the most famous and most fatal charge of the American Civil War. The British camp on San Juan Island became so comfortable over 13 years that the Royal Marines apparently grew their own garden and kept a cricket pitch. Both camps are preserved today as San Juan Island National Historical Park, one of America's finest and most quietly absurd historical sites. Somewhere on San Juan Island right now there is probably a pig eating someone's potatoes, and nobody is going to war about it. Subscribe to the Domino Files, a new First Domino every single week.